Welcome to the Sleep Directive, where truth flickers just beneath the surface and dreams remember what reality forgets. If you enjoy drifting into conspiracies that feel too real to ignore, hit like, subscribe, and let the signal carry you. Sleep well, if you still can. Here's something about the way fluorescent lights buzz at 3 a.m. It's not just the hum, it's the language. I hear it now, the gaps between the pulses, the way the static crackles in my molars, the way it talks to me through the soft pads of my fingers when I touch the refrigerator door. My name is Henry Monroe, but they used to call me Eden. I only remembered that last week. I woke up with blood on my pillow again. This time it wasn't mine. There was a note shoved inside my mouth. It said, in block letters, "Do not let them know you remember." Thing is, I don't remember everything, just flashes. The white room, the red chair, the children who screamed like birds, the tape recorder playing backwards hymns while they injected us, and the doctor. The one with the silver eyes. I've started talking in my sleep. I record myself now, just in case I say something important. Last night I said, Protocol Eden active. Initiate Dream Layer 6. I don't know what it means, but I know they're watching me again. The birds have stopped coming to my window. The radio won't tune out the static, and the man in the gray van with no plates has parked outside my apartment every night this week. I think they're going to activate me. I think I was made for something awful. Chapter 1. Trigger. They played the song again tonight. 2:03 a.m. AM band, 1040 kilohertz, just outside the limits of a legitimate signal, where static folds over itself like a body being buried in sand. I didn't recognize the melody, but my hands did. They started twitching before I even turned the dial, fingers drumming some long-forgotten rhythm, the kind you'd play on a desk as a kid waiting for someone to open the door and inject you with sleep. The song? A slowed-down waltz, warped, drenched in reverb, almost like a lullaby. But behind the melody, there was a voice. Eden. Return to Layer 1. I dropped the radio. Didn't turn it off. Just let it bleed static onto the floor. My nose started bleeding again. Left nostril, always the left. I stared at the red droplets hitting the linoleum like Morse code. EDEN. That's how it always begins. The triggers. Last time it was a child's laugh played backwards in a perfume commercial. Before that, a man in the grocery store asked me if I remembered the orchard. I'd never seen him before. He walked out with a bag of peaches and slit his own throat in the parking lot. No news coverage, no police tape. Just disappeared. Tonight felt different. The voice wasn't just in the radio. It was in my head, stitched behind my thoughts like a parasite whispering scripture. I checked the back of my neck again, still there. The bump under the skin. They said it was scar tissue from a childhood injury. But sometimes, I can hear it click. I sat on the edge of the bed, sweating, trembling. Then I noticed the envelope. Not under the door, inside my fridge, taped to the back of the milk carton I didn't buy. To Eden from HD. My throat dried out. I hadn't heard that name since the hospital. Dr. Harper Delmont, my handler. The envelope contained a cassette tape labeled 1994, Session 14. A Polaroid of me at age 9, blindfolded, mouth taped shut, strapped to a dentist chair. A note. Detroit, 3rd and Weller. The underground never closed. The garden still grows. I should have burned it. But my hands were already reaching for the tape recorder. I pressed play. Subject Eden displays accelerated dissociation and compliance. Layer 1 has accepted the new memory structure. Suggestion test. Subject responds to "Mother sings in the orchard" with full obedience. Next trigger test. Let's see if the song brings him back. I didn't hear the rest. I was already walking down the stairs, barefoot, toward the payphone on 3rd and Weller, toward the darkness, toward the garden. Chapter 3. The Garden Room. The symbol glows faintly on the door, but it's not paint. It pulses, almost alive. My hand touches the metal, cold, familiar. It opens without sound. Inside, the room is wrong. Not just in design, in physics. The walls aren't flat. They bend subtly, like they're breathing. No corners, only curves. The lights flicker in a rhythm that syncs with my pulse. A low-frequency hum vibrates in the base of my skull. The floor is carpeted, green, artificial, like grass. Plastic flowers in concrete pots line the perimeter, all facing inward. And in the center of the room, the red chair, exactly as I remember it. 4 leather restraints, rusted bolts, a halo of surgical lights above. It still smells like metal and burnt sugar. And beside it, Dr. Harper Delmont. Not older, not even aged. Exactly as he looked in 1994. White coat, immaculate. Eyes like frozen milk. The only difference is the scar. A single black stitch down the middle of his forehead, like something was sealed shut. "Hello, Eden," he says. I can't speak. My throat locks. The hum gets louder. Delmont walks toward me with clinical calm, clipboard in hand. "You've done very well. 32 years, complete containment. Most of your batch failed by adolescence, but you..." He taps the clipboard. "You remembered on schedule." "I'm not a subject," I manage to whisper. Delmont smiles. "Yes, you are. You always were. And you were our finest." I take a step back. The door behind me is gone. He motions to the chair. "Please, sit. You came this far, Henry. Let's finish the cycle." I feel my legs move without consent. The trigger's active. I sit. The straps slither around my wrists and ankles like trained snakes. Lights dim. The hum shifts pitch, becomes a voice hidden inside the tone. "Recall protocol, session 14, layer 0. Full regression authorized." A syringe lowers from the ceiling on a thin wire. Clear fluid, shimmering with a faint opalescent tint. I scream, but no sound comes out. Delmont leans in. "You wanted truth, didn't you?" he whispers. "Then let's remember what you did in Prague." The syringe plunges into my neck. The world splits. A young boy, me, is strapped to a table in a stone cellar. 6 men in suits stand behind glass. One girl in the corner is crying. "Repeat the phrase," one of them says. "The garden grows from pain," I reply, eyes empty. They hand me a revolver. The girl begs me not to do it. I smile. I pull the trigger. I wake in the red chair, vomiting bile soaked in sweat. Delmont is gone. In his place is a mirror. Behind it, my reflection. But it's not moving like I am. It smiles, it raises a hand. Inside its palm is a key. Carved into the metal. Layer 2. Chapter 4. Layer 2. The mirror doesn't move. But I do. My reflection stands still, smiling, serene, while I shake, soaked in the sweat of a memory I didn't know I had. In its hand, the key gleams like mercury. Then, it lowers its arm, reaches toward the glass. The mirror ripples. A silent invitation. I step forward. So does it. But our movements aren't mirrored anymore. They're staggered, like we're dancing to a song played through broken speakers. I place my palm against the glass. The surface yields like warm wax. I step through. Layer 2 isn't a room. It's a corridor of memory, stitched together from fragments, clinical and surreal. My elementary school hallway, but the walls are breathing. My childhood bedroom, lit by a surgical lamp. A hospital gurney floats in the middle of a wheat field under red skies. Static seeps from the corners like fog. In the distance, a carousel. Old, wooden, spinning on its own. Children ride the horses, but their faces are blank, like the masks used in trauma studies. At the base of the carousel, a door marked with a red X and a number burned into the metal. Subject number 1, Eden. My knees buckle. This isn't a memory. It's a record. The walls begin whispering, voices like cassette tapes being chewed and reversed. We made him forget. He passed every phase. They'll never believe what he really did. He was the first who chose to stay. My breath shortens. Then I see her. A woman standing near the carousel, long black coat, barefoot, scar across her cheek. She sees me and doesn't run. "Took you long enough," she says. "They said you'd never come back." Her voice pierces something inside me. Not fear, recognition. "You're not real," I whisper. She shrugs. "Neither are you." "Who are you?" She walks up to me, close enough to smell the ash on her coat. Then she leans in and whispers, "My name was Willow. Subject 005. We were trained together." My knees tremble. "You shot me in the chest," she says. "Then they made you forget." Silence. My mouth is dry, but the carousel music keeps playing. A distorted circus tune looping endlessly. Willow steps back and tosses me something. I catch it. A cassette marked Session 01, Project EVE. "They lied to you, Aiden," she says. "You weren't the first subject." She points upward, toward an iron staircase that coils into blackness. "They made you the prototype, but I was the control." Then she vanishes. Just gone. I look at the tape, then at the staircase. The carousel creaks behind me, slowing. A child's voice hums the waltz again. But now I know the melody. It's the song I used to sing to calm the others before they were taken for testing. I pocket the tape and begin climbing, toward the final layer, toward the truth, toward whatever they buried inside me that I was never meant to find. Chapter 5. Project Eve. The stairs feel endless. Iron steps spiraling upward through black air that doesn't echo. Each footfall is muffled like I'm climbing through memory foam soaked in static. My breath clouds, even though I don't feel cold. Gravity feels optional here. Halfway up, I hear it. A voice. Mine. Whispering from somewhere above and below at the same time. Layer integrity compromised. Subject destabilizing. I stop climbing. The voice continues. Terminate if integration fails. Project Eve cannot reboot. I keep going. At the top, the staircase ends in a hatch. It's mechanical, round, rusted, but coated with symbols I've never seen. Something between ancient runes and modern circuitry. At the center is a slot. I insert the tape. It hums. The hatch clicks. Light floods out, warm, golden, nostalgic, like the first memory you ever had of a summer day. But it's wrong. Manufactured. Too perfect. I step through. It's a suburban living room. Early 90s. Mint green couch. CRT television playing static. A coffee table with 3 alphabet blocks arranged to spell EVE on the couch. Dr. Harper Delmont, but not the Delmont from the garden room. He's older, tired, human. He looks at me like a father who lost a child long ago. "Henry," he says. I don't answer. He gestures for me to sit. I stay standing. He sighs. "This is your final layer, the topsoil. I embedded it years ago. If you're here, the failsafe failed." I stare at the blocks. What is Project EVE? Delmont looks up at the TV. Static becomes images. Flashes of test subjects, injections, screaming children, surgical procedures overlaid with hymns. Project Garden was the farm, he says. Project Eve was the seed. He takes a breath. You weren't the first, Henry. You were the harvest. The others were meant to fail. Their minds couldn't hold the programming. But you, he stands. His hands tremble. You were born inside it. My knees go weak. You're not a man with erased memories. You're a memory made real. The room tilts. You mean he nods. Constructed. Genetically bred from fragments of the most stable subjects. We grew you in simulation, trained you through dream cycles. When your consciousness stabilized, we implanted you in the real world to observe your behavior. I feel sick. All of it. The janitor job, the apartment, the static in the walls, was part of the program. You implanted me in Detroit, I say. He shakes his head. No, Henry. Detroit doesn't exist. The room blinks, glitches, briefly replaced with a massive lab chamber. Wires, pods, giant tanks. You're still in containment. You never left. I collapse to my knees. Delmont kneels beside me. You were our last hope. If your mind could hold reality, we could rebuild the world from scratch. Clean, controlled. He smiles. Sad, almost kind. But then you remembered. The TV switches to a new image. Willow. She's standing in the garden room, alive, watching me through the screen. She mouths something. Break the mirror. The TV explodes in static. Alarms begin wailing. Delmont grabs me. Listen to me, Henry. If you destroy this layer, your body will die. You'll wake up, but your mind will unravel. You'll lose yourself. I look at the EVE blocks. I pick one up. It pulses. I'd rather die real than live programmed. I hurl the block into the mirror. The layer shatters. I wake up in a pod, naked, cold. Fluid drains around me. Sirens echo. Men in black scramble. One shouts, "He's awake! Subject Eden is active!" I rip the 4 from my neck. Then I see her, Willow, in a white coat, holding a pistol. She fires. One guard drops. "Come on!" she yells. "We don't have long!" I stumble from the pod. Everything is glass and steel and wires. Hundreds of pods. Hundreds of me, variations. Fetal, sleeping, growing. Willow grabs my hand. They were going to reboot the world with copies of you, she says. Not anymore. She tosses me a detonator. Ready to end the garden? I press the button. The screen goes black. The sound of wind, bird song. Somewhere, maybe real, maybe not. The garden finally dies. Epilogue. The orchard. It's spring, or something pretending to be spring. The air smells like earth and wires. Birds chirp, but they repeat the same melody every 23 seconds. Always in threes. I sit beneath a tree that shouldn't be here. A pear tree, blooming white. Its roots hum. Across from me, Willow reads from a worn notebook. Her voice is calm, software tired. Subject Eden achieved destabilization at layer 0, rejection complete, finality uncertain. She closes the book. That's all that was left. I nod. We don't talk much anymore. Too many layers between our words. We live here now, or we're shown this now. I can't tell the difference. I'm not sure I want to. Some nights I dream of the red chair. Some mornings I wake up strapped to it. But then I blink, and I'm back in the orchard. The birds still chirp in threes. The grass is always slightly damp, and the sky glitches sometimes, just at the corners of my vision. Once, I asked Willow what happens when we die here. She didn't answer. She just handed me a mirror. I looked into it, and the face staring back whispered, "You were never Henry." Somewhere, in a different room, in a facility no one speaks of, a technician logs a new file. Project Garden, Subject Eden, containment status, recursive loop achieved. Subject believes escape complete. Observe for 72 more dream cycles, then reset.